Tonight, I want to talk to you guys about, so I rarely talk about my program in any sort of detail, my Reclaim Your Marriage program. So I wanted this live to be all about that because it's valuable to you. So the first thing I have 4 pillars in my program, in the Reclaim Your Marriage program, that I want to talk about. So I'm going to go over them briefly, and then we'll go into detail with each one. So neutralizing trauma is the first pillar. Create your new identity is the second pillar. The third pillar is crafting the marriage you now choose, the marriage of your dreams. And the fourth pillar is birthing your life purpose. So let's go back to neutralizing trauma, which is the first pillar in my program. And let me tell you why. Our personalities are developed in ages 0 to 5 years, when our subconscious mind is wide open. And I explain it like this. So the upper faculties of mind are not fully developed, and we do not, in 0 to 5, have the ability to reject information. And let me tell you how that affects you. Every single thing spoken about you, all the beliefs of the people raising you that were contributing to your beliefs, it all just goes right down into our subconscious mind. And how this affects us is we take on those beliefs. Have you ever wondered why you have about 95% of the beliefs from your parents? They did not originate from you, believe it or not. And this is what modern science teaches us. There's this whole epigenetics thing that we're just now tapping into as far as science goes. But basically it goes like this. Your personality was developed in years 0 to 5, and they have been based on your parents' beliefs, and they've been based on the beliefs of the people raising you, the community you were raised in, the religious structure, whatever was around you when you were ages 0 to 5 affected your belief system, created, in fact, who you are. And I'll tell you why. So with trauma is just a high state of negative emotion where you stamp a meaning on it. And I'm going to give you a few examples of how my reality was shaped by my traumatic events. So one super crazy event that happened around money. Do you know that your money mindset can directly go back to your traumatic events? So with money, I had a belief about money because my dad died when I was 11. And we had no money before he was alive, but all of a sudden he died and we had money because of, the government gave my mom money for him croaking or whatever. But the belief that I made up in my mind from that event when I was 11 is you have to lose someone you love in order to have money. And I would never have found that belief in my subconscious mind if I didn't go through my inner healing, if I didn't go through my trauma treatments. So it's a huge reason why when a woman comes into my group, my program, the first thing that we got to do is we got to neutralize the trauma. The biggest part about what we do is neutralize the trauma. And I have a proven system that does that, right? Over the course of our time working together. The second pillar is creating the new identity. So because the identity that we have goes all the way back to the beliefs early in life, think about this. What were the words spoken about you early in life? Because for me, it was like, you're dumb. You're dumb, you're not going to amount to anything, you are not important. And even though these words may not even have been said to us, we may have been treated that way. And in our subconscious mind, we just receive the thought, like, this is going to sound weird to a lot of you but the energy of our parents we take on, especially our moms, because we're attached to our moms in utero. And the first set of your programming happens in the 3rd trimester of pregnancy. So think of it like this. Think of yourself like a computer, and in the 3rd trimester of pregnancy, you get this little programming. It's like God just sticks the little chip in and downloads your programming. It's sort of like that. I mean, we're very similar to a computer that way, but so then once you're born, then you get programmed by whoever's raising you. So your parents, obviously, your school systems, your peers, your siblings, your religious systems, your culture, right? You ever wonder where all your cultural beliefs come from? You adapted them in the first 5 years of your life. And essentially, until you go in and rewire your mindset, you still have those beliefs. And here's how you know it: your results. This is where we know where our limiting beliefs are at. If you don't have something that you really, really want, we can always track that down to 0 to 5 in your belief system. Every single time with my clients, they come in, they're like, I really want love. I really want money, but I've never been able to have money. Okay, well, let's take a look in your subconscious mind and let's see what beliefs that we can open up. So we open them up. Oh, yep, I'm not worthy of having what I want, right? That could be a belief that you hold. Now, my process to eliminating that, they're trauma treatments, and we go in and we extract the belief, and then we hold it up and examine it and say, is this something that we want to hold on to, or are we ready to let it go? And then we switch it out for the new belief. So the first pillar is neutralizing trauma. Has to happen. And the whole human race should be dealing with their trauma, because trauma gets trapped in your body. You know, the little aches and pains you have? That's trauma. That's trauma that you are storing in your body. And it's not the trauma itself, it's the emotion attached to the trauma. So what's trapped in your body is negative emotion. So in my program, I have multiple modalities that I use to extract the emotion from your physical body, right? Okay, so the second one is to create the new identity. That's the second pillar. So the new identity would be like, okay, if I believed my old identity, I'm going to give you my examples of who I believed that I was before. I believed I was unlovable. I believed that I wasn't very fucking important. I believed that I wasn't worthy of having money. I believed that I needed someone to take care of me because I was incapable of taking care of myself. These are just a few of my beliefs. So because I had those beliefs, what do you think my results in life were? My results were exactly that. I made myself unimportant in all my relationships. I believed that I was unlovable, so I found a way to sabotage all my relationships. I pushed everyone away in some form or fashion. Like I was a mess. But when I went through my healing process, I was able to just like writing them on a piece of paper and looking at it and being like, oh, no wonder. No wonder I've been sabotaging all my relationships. I believe that I'm unlovable. And here's what I know about every client that I've worked with, as well as myself. We all have, on some level, an I'm not enoughness. All of us on some level. Some of us, it's a big one, and some of us, it's a softer voice, but we all have that. And it needs to be eliminated, okay? So pillar number 2, we're creating the new identity. We're saying, okay, this is who I now choose to be. I choose to be loving. Regardless of what's going on around me, I choose to be loving. I choose to be joyful. I choose joy all the time, no matter the circumstances around me. I choose to be happy. I choose to feel connected to people, right? I choose to be confident. That was something I struggled with. I still do. But these are the ways that I've chosen for my new identity. I get to be connected. I get to be loving. I get to be generous. That's what I want, right? So this is the identity that we choose. That's pillar number 2, okay? Pillar number 3 is where we get to craft the marriage that we now choose, the marriage of our dreams. What does it look like? This is where we go into fantasy. What do we want that relationship to look like? Do we want it to be like snuggles every night? Do we want it to be like holding hands, taking walks every day with our spouse? Do we want it to be like vacations? Do we just want it to be like connection, where you feel so connected to your husband, so loved by him that you are just like all in? Like, pillar number 3 is where we get into what we want. And here's the sad part. Most people never ask themselves what they want. And do you know why they don't? Because they don't believe that they could have it. True story. Just about everyone that I've worked with, just about everyone out there that I've conversated with, I will just ask the question that stumps them every single time. What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? If you believed that you could have, do, or be anything, what would you choose? Stumps them every time. So funny. We don't ask ourselves this. Why? Because we don't believe that we're worthy of having it. We don't believe that we're going to get it. So we don't even want to look. We're like, no, I'm happy with this, like, this like safe life. I go to work and come home and it's okay. It's okay. It's like, why do we settle for that shit? Why? Because we don't believe we're worthy of having more. That was the truth for me. Put a 1 in the chat if you don't believe that you're worthy of having anything more. Okay. So the 4th pillar is birthing your life purpose. So this is what I've noticed with the people I work with. If you think of us like an onion, okay, human beings, we're onions. We got all these layers, these like layers of dead stuff, right? Well, with each trauma treatment, with each healing process, a layer of the onion falls off on the outside. Making the sound effect to make it exciting. With each process, one of those petals falls off, one of those outside dead layers falls off. And we keep doing that. We keep doing that. Of course, the onion changes. And of course, the layers are unlimited. And this is what I found, like, no matter how much of a healing journey I've been on, I still always have more to work on. So I'm getting to the inner part of the onion and it keeps unfolding and I'm like, no more onions. But it is a beautiful thing. But what's in the center of that onion is your life purpose, like the thing that really lights you up. Some people get really weird when I say life purpose because they're like, what does that mean? It's the thing that you just love to do. It lights you up. You do it for free. It's just like, oh, I'll do only that my whole, like, it's what you want to do. Like for me, this work that I do, helping other people heal the way I've helped myself heal, that is my life purpose. Nothing lights me up like having breakthrough with my clients. When they get the thing that they really want, when they start believing in themselves and when they change and transform, they all transform. Every last one of them transforms because we take off those outer shells of the onion, all the dead stuff that no longer works, all the old trauma, all the old emotion trapped in the body. You can move that out. And then you know what you're left with? Your life purpose. It's right there. And it's glowing. It's like bright and it's like, oh, it's delicious. It's delicious. The truth is that most people they're not brave enough to go through the process of allowing those dead layers of the onion to fall away. That's so sad to me. But for those who are so bold and so brave and they're like, I'm doing it, gosh, they have such a huge transformation.